Hello YouTube, it's the D.B.T show. D.B.T Gamer Special, E3 2010. This time we're going to talk about Sony. This year, Sony was pretty good. The first thing they announced, which piqued my attention, was Metal Gear Solid Rising. This is also available on the Xbox. Looks like a pretty good game. It's set in between Metal Gear Solid 2 and 4. It basically shows how Raiden went from a pussy into a badass. And it looks like the game has got a lot of action due to all the swordplay I've seen.
Was Raiden in Metal Gear Solid 4?
Yes. Towards the end and in the middle. So that looks promising. I may buy it. Now, the next thing I saw was PlayStation 3 Move.
Yeah.
It looks... Most of the games I've seen look like games that Nintendo have already been doing for the past 2 or 3 years.
I'm going to say, do I sense the word rip-off coming into my mind? Oh, yes, I do. There we go. It's a black Wii remote with a light bulb on it.
Yes.
But it's actually one of those little ping pong balls they use for motion capture.
Personally, PlayStation Move, it looks interesting, but I don't really care. Next item on the agenda, quite a few games. Killzone 3 in 3D. Ooh.
Aren't most games for the 360 in 3D? PS3. 360, what am I on about? The PS3 in 3D anyway? Unless they've got a remake of Tetris on there somewhere.
Then, the next game they announced was Dead Space 2, which I have to admit looks really good. They've even announced a Dead Space 2 Special Edition pack, which will have the Dead Space Wii game as a mini-game.
Oh, that rail shooter?
Yeah, which I may actually go for Special Edition if this is actually true. Because I may go for it.
I like the Dead Space series. Well, I like to say series. I've only ever played Dead Space 1, but
they had a movie as well.
Yeah, yes, as the animated thing, sort of a prequel kind of thing. That was fantastic, actually.
Go
on.
Next game, Gran Turismo 5. They've been announcing this game for the past 3 years.
I care not for Gran Turismo.
It's finally coming out, but seriously, I've never played Gran Turismo in my life. I played it once at school, and it was pretty boring for me.
Just one thing I'd like to say about Gran Turismo. It was advertised as a true-to-life driving simulator.
Yes.
It'd be as easy just to fucking drive a car. That's a true-to-life driving simulator.
Yeah, but it's got death strapped to it. A computer game doesn't. Unless it actually shocks you to death.
Dude, if you step into a car and end up killing yourself, most chances are you're too stupid to get into the car in the first place.
Good point. Also, that's going to be in 3D. The next one they announced, which I think doesn't really make any difference because they tried this last year and they still didn't catch my attention. They want to push the PSP even further. Seriously, again, Sony, you're not catching my attention at all. I am completely not bothered about the PSP. There are less than 5 games I care about. And since you announced the PSP Go, which has no UMD drive, I'm even more or less caring.
I must admit, there are some PSP games that I like. Granted, I don't have a massive PSP library, but there is one good thing about the PSP, which I use it for, pretty much all the time.
I know what you're going to say. You're going to say porn, aren't you?
No. Yeah, I suppose you could look at porn if you really wanted to. But
Moving on!
No, shut up. It's got a rather nifty little internet thing built into it. All you have to do is type in your web key or whatever friggin' hell security thing you've got, and you're on the internet. So if you're playing, say, I don't know, Resident Evil 5, and you come to a bit, you think, I don't know how to solve this puzzle. I don't know how to kill this boss. You just get your PSP out, get in the web address, GameFAQs or whatever friggin' hell you use, and that's it.
Wait for it to load for like half a year because that thing takes an age to load.
It doesn't. It's actually quite quick, actually. It's quicker than my PC, but then again, I built my PC from scratch, so that probably explains that. It's just useful for a quick little internet search.
Next item on the agenda.
And porn.
Next item on the agenda, Sony announced, and this is weird, they announced that they're going to release sort of like a new membership thing for the PlayStation Network called PlayStation Network Plus, where you pay £50 a year to get exclusive content and demos before everybody else gets them. Sony, why the hell are you doing this? You were doing perfectly fine with the idea of, ooh, look, new PS1 game to download. £5, here you go. Now I can play Rayman again. That was perfectly fine.
That'd be good if you actually put some decent PS1 games on it, like Wild Arms.
They've done Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 8, Final Fantasy 9. 8's not that good, but 9 and 7 are. And they've got Metal Gear Solid 1 on there.
You ever played Grandia?
No.
I'd lend it to you. Fantastic RPG. Moving on.
So, I don't know why they're going to start charging for PlayStation Network, but seriously, Sony, you may want to rethink this one.
If all you're going to get out of it is a few demos and maybe a few trailers before everyone else, it's not really worth the effort.
Exactly. Next they announced Little Big Planet 2. I've lost faith in Little Big Planet because I don't care anymore.
I can't say I played enough of it to really care in the first place.
Next they announced Medal of Honor, which my brother's played and he likes it, so... And then they announced Portal 2, which does look really good. And I have actually played Portal at Adam's house. It does look like a really good game.
It's a puzzle game, 3D puzzle game. You use a portal generator to
solve puzzles.
Create portals from one place to another. So.
I had some right fun creating infinite holes, like.
Oh yeah, put one on the roof, one on the floor, and just jump down, just keep falling.
The next game,
and then for some reason the woman survives when she moves out and hits the floor. And I don't know. She's got some kind of wire spring thing attached to the back of her leg. It somehow stops her from killing herself.
The next game they announced was Twisted Metal 4, which Adam is actually surprised for what I excited about.
Twisted Metal, the original, I never played. Twisted Metal 2 World Tour was one of the best games I ever had for the PS1. Twisted Metal 3 was only out in America. Twisted Metal Black was a fucking waste of time. And Twisted Metal 4 better be frigging good.
Well, it has helicopters in it. And tanks.
So? They all had helicopters and tanks. Couldn't play it.
The final game they announced was Final Fantasy 14. Looks good, but I've never played an online Final Fantasy game before. So...
Final Fantasy 11 was good in that it was entertaining. It was bad in the way that it had dickheads on it.
And also, it was not single-player friendly, according to you.
No, it wasn't. It was quite literally a game you needed, and I mean fucking needed, at least 8 other people to help you with. Because, well... And that's the thing that really pissed me off about it. It took you long enough to level up anyway, and then you got to a certain area where you couldn't get any experience off the enemies, but the next area up, so the next difficulty, they killed you in like 3 hits. So it was just fucking irritating. You had to wait for like 5 other people from Venezuela to get their act together and help you out. It just pissed me off.
Anyway, that's the end of Sony YouTube. Next we'll move on to Nintendo. See you then, bye.
And I can rant some more.